And I'm joined on set by Florence Villamino with
Hi,
the
Shona.
French Press Review.
Hi, we're going to start out by looking how papers are reacting to the very poor state of the economy. La Tribune, the business paper, asked this question: why are there so many redundancy plans? And La Tribune points out that the number of businesses and factories shutting down has accelerated in France. More than 700 redundancy plans have been announced since the beginning of the year, and this, of course, is putting a lot of people out of work, 15,000 to be exact, in the last 18 months. So why is this happening now? La Tribune takes a closer look and points out that we're 5 years into the crisis. A lot of companies were hoping there was going to be some sort of an economic recovery. That doesn't seem to be happening. So a lot of companies that were putting off cutting their staff are having to do it right now. But another thing is that in July, the law changed and made it easier for companies to fire people for financial and economic reasons. So La Tribune points out that this also has a lot to do with that increase in redundancy plans. And it points out that this is really just the tip of the iceberg. According to La Tribune, the worst is yet to come.
Not good news there. Now, left-leaning daily Libération is also talking about the increase in economic layoffs.
That's right. Libération on its front page talks about a warning signal and says that the government is really powerless in the face of these mass layoffs, and says that things get really ugly. Libération says that the government is facing a budding insurrection, a very violent term today.
Big word, yeah.
A big word in Libération. We've been seeing these very violent, well, sometimes violent, red cap demonstrations that started out as a demonstration against a government tax plan, the eco tax or road tax, and that has snowballed into a broader anti-government movement. And according to Libération, the government is really afraid this could become somewhat contagious and spread to other parts of France, and it's really trying its best to fight against what it sees as a defeatist attitude budding in France. And Libération points out that the government, in the face of all this, is trying to remain optimistic. It's trying to say that things are going to get better. The unemployment will go down. But Libération points out that a lot of critics say the government is delusional. It's hoping for some sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And on top of this, Libération, and remember, Libération is the left-leaning paper, says that the measures that the government is putting forward to fight the crisis, to boost employment, etc., well, Libération says they don't actually work. They lack a lot of bite. And remember, this is Libération saying this, so it's quite incredible.
Yeah, so other papers are focusing on ministers who are staying out of the spotlight.
That's right. Libération points out that a lot of ministers are being very quiet. They're staying discreet. So it takes a closer look at what it calls these disappeared ministers. Who are they? Well, you have Interior Minister Manuel Valls, which is very uncharacteristic of him because he tends to open his mouth about a lot of things. And on the front page of L'Opinion, so the pro-business paper, you can see, I don't know if you can see it there, but they have a mock missing poster. Where have you seen this man? Do you know anything about these men? So there's Manuel Valls. There's also the Labor Minister Michel Sapin, the Environment Minister Philippe Martin. Why are they being so quiet? Well, L'Opinion says it's proof that the government is running out of steam. But Le Parisien has a different take on things and says all this is political strategy. What's going on here is that these ministers are trying to dodge this bullet. They're trying to make sure, they don't want to seem like troublemakers opening their mouths too much. They want to basically make sure that they'll still be around if ever there's a government reshuffle.
Well, the less noise they make, the less attention they'll draw as well, right? So moving on to another story. This weekend, a Made in France fair is kicking off in Paris, an opportunity for papers to focus on famous French products like what?
That's right. Well, Libération takes a closer look at these classic made in France products, whether it's the Big Pen, I've got one in my hand right now, Western shoes, Petit Bateau underwear, all sorts of things you can see.
I think I have those
Charentaises, yeah, the very famous slippers there. A book actually pays tribute to these products. You can take a look at, there's some actually really nice photos in Libération. For instance, there's Sophie la Giraffe. It's there you see her, little plastic giraffe toy that a lot of children across the world have teethed on. I know I did. So take a look at this book. It's called Objets estampillés France, and Libération talked about it today.
Great. Thank you very much, Florence Villamino with the French Press Review. More news coming up in a few minutes, and in focus, we'll be heading to a modern-day ghost town just a few hundred meters from the runways of Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Customs agencies around the world are changing their ways. Instead of charging duties, they're shifting towards securing international trade. In Beyond Business, we look at how companies can profit from that if they can adapt.
Don't miss Beyond Business on France 24 and France24.com.